What's going on, guys? Matt and Ertan here with Maximum Beverage, and want to wish everyone, first of all, happy holidays. It's getting into December here. Weather's getting a little colder, and we got some reds that I think for the holiday season are going to be the perfect fit. All different price points, and really just want to sit down and talk through really some of our, I think, recent favorites, longtime favorites, stuff that in our store we're constantly putting in people's hands. Down the line here, probably go this way. Move that there, move that there. You know, I don't know what your holiday celebration is, Ertan, but you know, this year it's going to be different for everyone. For me, typically I go with my family up to New Hampshire, my in-laws, and then I come back the next day. We have a big party, lots of wine and drink. It's going to be different this year. I'm sure for everyone it's going to be different. So, I think this is the time of year when you can think like maybe we just drink a little bit better wine on the holidays. Less people, instead of a $20 bottle of wine, we're opening up 40. Instead of maybe 40, we're going 80, 90. And we open a nice, $100 bottle of wine. But if you're really into, I think, wines under 20, this Westmount Willamette Valley Pinot Noir is what I think really delicious, really great value. I think it comes in at $18.99. Is that what you have in there?
Yeah, that's what I have in there.
All right. We have had this in the store. I can't tell you how long we've had it. It's been. Let me make sure it's in the frame there. Gotta check the camera. Oh yeah, we're good. We carried it, I think, about a year. What's surprising is we didn't really promote it as a wine over Thanksgiving. You'd think this would have been one of our pomps, but we just opened this. I think we noticed there was a lot of minerality on the nose. It's sort of gone away. Maybe we had too much soap in our glass.
Yeah, it's softened up a lot, and a lot of that sort of bright Pinot fruit is really jumping out of the glass now. So,
yeah, tell us a little bit about Willamette. The things that you get out of Willamette. Certainly this is a great bottle of wine, but it's unique to the region.
Yeah, and I kind of one of my go-tos for Pinot Noir is kind of moving not away from California, but for a different style. Everybody always says, is this Pinot Noir more, French in style, is it more Californian in style? And I say, why do we even have to sort of stereotype Pinot Noir into those two generalizations, but to have this Oregonian Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley, which really sort of is in a class of itself, and I find this grape variety after, I visited the area attending Pinot Camp back in 2014, and one of my takeaways from that is not only the wonderful white wines that you get from the Willamette Valley, but the sort of exploration of Pinot Noir and the different styles. But I feel that it almost transcends outside of Pinot Noir, and you get almost this Nebbiolo style from the Piedmont. And gosh, the food, the terroir, the landscape of Willamette Valley, the only thing it's missing are these 1,000-year-old castles from the Piedmont, and you'd have a very similar climate. You have very similar to the latitude area. You have truffles growing naturally in the underbrush of trees. Pork is a wonderful staple of food, and a lot of these things are translated into the pairing of Pinot and the authenticity of the Willamette Valley. I think there's a wonderful purity. It's a wonderful community. It's a sharing community where, as enologists go and as the winemakers go, they share their ideas. They want everyone to be successful in the Willamette Valley,
Yeah, I think one of the things that I find typically out of Oregon and typically out of the Willamette Valley, and I found this in Pinot Noir out of California and even, obviously Burgundy, is that to find a good wine under $20 is really hard. In fact, that used to be one of my guarantees. Always drink Pinot Noir over $20. And I think that's changed. One of the things I've noticed is that, under $20 you are finding great values, and this is definitely one of them. I think it's $18.99.
There's a supple, soft fruit quality that that's going to pair with all those foods that go on the celebration table, and this was, like you said, something maybe, we should have, in store we did that,
Sure.
Explaining that on the Thanksgiving table, from cranberries to stuffing to turkey, this is almost a condiment in itself.
Yeah. All right, so that's delicious. That really is good. That's one of those wines that you could sit down and before you know it, you've drank the whole bottle. by yourself on the couch and you got other issues. That's really good. All right, on to wine number 2. So one thing I will have, wherever you're seeing this video, there'll be a link to a page. And in that page, because this will be all over the place, is there'll be more than just the 3 we're going to have here, because we're really going to focus on, our 8, kind of 8 great picks of all price points for the holiday season. U.S. Reds is really where we're going. We'll head on here to the Spann Vineyards Classic 4, which is a wine that I've seen in the past, and I think we've carried in the past, but Ertan just brought in, correct?
Yep.
And you have sold in your past, at your past places. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is a wine that not only has a sense of place, I guess it has a sense of ownership with the last name Spann right on the label there. Peter and Betsy Spann, husband and wife team since 2000, here in the Sonoma Valley, the southernmost area of Sonoma, right near the Mayacamas Range in California. And really, Betsy is the winemaker and really an affinity for that sort of Francophile, that lover of Bordeaux wine.
Sure.
So she blends, usually the standard Bordeaux grape varieties, and here taking the Classic 4 grape varieties. Even the last vintage was still called Classic 4, even though there were 5 grape varieties in there. It's so it's a stamp of quality, and really getting this idea of real plush Sonoma forwardness of wonderful ripe fruit with kind of the control and winemaking savvy of maybe somebody in Bordeaux,
Sure.
bringing out those sorts of flavors and a little bit of restraint,
So one of the things, obviously, Classic 4, when we're talking Bordeaux, Malbec being the major varietal, and it's 50% Malbec. Traditionally, wouldn't see that in Bordeaux as in that large scale.
Yeah.
So and then
Cabernet and Merlot, of course.
third cab, little Cab Franc, and a little bit of Merlot. So 9% Cab Franc, 8% Merlot. This wine comes in at $29.99, and I think it obviously, we can say this all day, but this definitely drinks above its weight. 2014, I think you'll notice, in the next wine coming up is like, these are current releases from vineyards, and they made this wine 6 years ago.
Right.
So these folks are cellaring their own bottles and cellaring their own juice, and they're not releasing it as soon as they can. They're holding on to this wine, and they're releasing it when it's ready, which I think, these are folks that love what they do, and in the end, they're not in it to get rich. They're really not. They're really in it for the love of the wine and producing the best possible product. And you can find it, I think, here with this Spann and also with this Peterson that we're going to show you next.
Yeah, and Peter and Betsy, they started out literally, their winery was literally one barrel on a 20 by 20 back deck with a little outdoor tent above it, and that's
Sure.
where they made their first vintages. And they've grown to, I think, 5 or 6 different labels featuring the blends like this of the Classic 4, Zinfandel, some white varieties like Viognier and Chardonnay blended together. But like Matt said, 2014, they're not looking to rush this out in order to, fill their pockets, if you will. They're holding on to it, making sure it's getting out there when it's time, and that you're opening a bottle of wine that's ready to open.
Yeah. So, the last summer and the previous summer, I was lucky enough to find myself in Sonoma, and I at the time did not know about these guys, and obviously would have visited them had I. Because this wine is just so balanced. It's got this almost like floral note at the end, a little bit of bacon spice on the nose. Just very balanced.
And this is a wine, that's not necessarily an exclusive, but this is very small production. So to find this bottle at Maximum is going to be one of those little sort of unsung treasures within
Sure.
the collection of wine that we have. That you're going to make that sort of personal connection and say, gosh, this is something special that we need to go visit the folks at Maxim, and then myself to procure such a
Go see
good
Ertan
bottle.
in West Hartford, or if you're in Tallinn or Farmington. This is great.
Yeah, it's in all 3 locations. So
yeah, I think a little bit different between, this wine, delicious, the Westmount, but we're sort of getting to like really, completely handmade, small production. These people are in the process, all from day one through the whole winemaking process. Loading the bottles in the bottling machine by hand. That kind of thing. I mean, this is like small family-owned businesses. Basically, is what we're talking about.
Right. And this wine will just get better as it's open. We just popped this about a half an hour ago or so.
Not
and
even.
it's showing really well, but it's going to sort of round out.
It's got a great color. I don't know if you can see that. The color has this nice. It's got this nice copper edges to it. It shows that it's got a little bit of age to it, but nothing crazy. It's definitely dark. I mean, it's got an inkiness to it, but not. I would say dark ruby. But you can see that kind of oranging on the edges, and that shows you that wine is at the proper age to be drank. What would your pick be if you were sitting down, forget Thanksgiving? I mean, not Thanksgiving. It's still on Thanksgiving. It's only December 2nd. Actually, my watch says it's the 1st. So, what would would this be a steak, or would this be a, pork dish, barbecue even?
Yeah, that would work too. I mean, I think you want that little, a really great ribeye, bone-in ribeye with this, and
sure.
A little bit of that, that wonderful fattiness to help kind of break down the tannins of the structure of this wine.
All right, so on to wine number 3, a wine that if you follow or go into Maximum Beverage, have known the Peterson name for quite some time now because we push it. It's actually they're fairly, what I would call, this is fairly inexpensive wine as it goes, but their inexpensive stuff I push all day because it's just so. I mean, you just open that bottle of wine. I don't care who it is, either the Zero Manipulation or any other red blends, the Barbera. It's a crowd pleaser all the time, and the wines are so balanced. And here we got the 2014 Bradford Mountain Cab, and I've been up there in the Bradford Mountain because we were lucky enough to have a tour from the Peterson folks. Absolutely, Emily, Fred's daughter, brought us up there. And Fred lives right by the vineyard, which is pretty cool. Literally, actually lives in the vineyard. So you have to walk. If you're touring the vineyard, you have to walk by literally up his driveway. Wine. I think this is, to me. So we got $18.99 with the Westmount. We have with the Spann. We have $29.99. And now you're talking $39.99 for delicious Sonoma Cab that I think really drinks like any $60, $70, $80 bottle of wine that you find out there. This is a Mountain Cab.
And this 2014, like the Spann Classic 4, so we're seeing two different areas of of mountain fruit to valley fruit.
I would bet that they're three miles away.
Yeah,
I mean, if we looked at a map.
Exactly. Here, Cabernet dominant, and like Matt said, the great winemaker Fred Peterson, whose son Jamie has taken over the reins of the winemaking process. I think he's still, I don't know, maybe I think he's like just 30 or something like this.
No, I think I think he's in his 30s. His son James is a winemaker. Fred he calls himself the wine grower, and they work in tandem to create delicious, really value. I mean, they don't really do anything, really expensive, but I think the wines are just such good values. This one in particular is absolutely delicious. They only make 400 cases of this. It's only available in a few states. They sell a lot of their wine through their wine list. And if you go there, you will drive up to, because I've done this now quite a few times, you'll drive up to basically a co-op area. It's a bunch of warehouses, and their tasting room is right there. They started, like you were saying, Spann. They started at an old red barn making wine, and they moved to this facility, in Healdsburg, specifically, and the wine's delicious. I mean, just get all this berry fruit, this like dustiness on the nose,
And you think about that, that's one thing we don't talk about a lot is, case production, or maybe we do talk about that, but here, 400 cases.
They don't always put it on the. I mean, you're not putting it on the package if it's not a small number.
Exactly.
You're not putting 5,000 cases produced on the package. 400 cases, literally right here. 400 cases.
That's pretty amazing,
Right.
So to be lucky enough to, be able to try a wine of such limited quantity when you're thinking about this.
4,800 bottles. It's like nothing.
So that's
they probably
special.
bottle the entire thing in a day. With this, by the way, their bottling machine is very small. It's just, you know, you load of bottles in hand, they wash them, they fill them, boom. Someone's packing in a case by hand, taking the boxes, taping the boxes by hand. It's everything's done by hand. It's like if you walk into a microbrewery nowadays, because this is a great example, because in Connecticut we have over 100 breweries, so you've been into many breweries. A lot of these canning lines are guy at the front, guy in the middle, guy at the end packing the boxes. Like, this is how they run that. It's the same thing. It's the same idea. It's the same craftsmanship involved. Only difference is they grow the grapes, whereas, you know, breweries, we're sourcing all our product around here. But people always ask me, I'll go up to the cab shelf. They're looking for a cab or a red blend or whatever it is, and we do this comparison thing all the time. I mean, it's like ridiculous, but would you rather have this or would you have that? I'm like, there's not many wines under $40 that I'd rather have. In fact, for $39.99, I think this might be, you know, top 5 wine in the store for me.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of great wine out there, but, you know, if we're literally at $39.99, I think, or lower, this is probably what I'd pick 9 out of 10 times.
Right.
You know?
And I think that's what we do. You know, that's what we do, is that we help sort of sift and, you know, filter the selection process to get that right wine in your hand,
Yeah.
you know, and we're trying, we're tasting, we're thinking, you know, and you'll have your favorite and we'll get you that in your hand too. And then when you ask us, well, what are you drinking? What are you enjoying?
Sure.
We can go down, you know, Matt's pick, my pick, or anybody at, you know,
Connor.
the 3 different locations.
Tom.
What are you drinking?
Yeah.
Tom, Charles, you know, and what cheeses
Fernando.
do we have? And
Fernando in both stores, by the way.
yeah,
We have
Fernando.
dual ferns in the stores.
We probably
That's got to be a world record.
I think so. And definitely no other store in the state of Connecticut can probably sing that praise.
They have
of
two
having
Fernandos.
2 Fernandos. Yeah. If they find another Ertan, I might have to.
We're done.
That's going to be a tough one.
No doubt. I'm just going to have some more.
But like Matt was saying before, you know, you're picking that bottle of wine now, smaller, you know, dinners. Maybe it's just you and your significant other. Maybe it's just you and your close loved ones that are able to be safe. And gosh, we're living in a strange normal right now. So why don't we step it up a little bit, enjoy something that's going to elevate the celebration, and maybe, you know, elevate that Zoom call, and then we could, you know, procure this wine for somebody else on that other side of the computer to maybe do a virtual toast with a great bottle of wine, and enjoy that holiday meal that will definitely raise spirits, which we all can use.
You know what's funny? I mean, over the Thanksgiving weekend, long weekend there, I talked to so many people via FaceTime that I haven't even talked to in years. Literally, I think people are just so used to now being in that moment, you know, with the screen, talking to people. They're just reaching out to everybody, so which was cool. Quite a few friends that I hadn't talked to in a while reached out to me via that. And I think you're going to have more of that over the holidays. And like I said, we're going to have 8. Click the link in this video, wherever that may be, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on our website, and check out our 8, really, we're focused on 8 U.S. reds, you know, for the holiday season. There's great wines from all over the world, but, you know, I think the United States is producing higher quality wine than it ever has. I have so much craft, you know, artisanal, small production vineyards in the United States that
that doesn't have to carry a pretentious price. I mean, these are very well, you know, values for the small production, for the craft, like Matt was saying, the craft production, the hands-on production. And here we're not only supporting brands, we're supporting families with these small productions. So I think this is another thing that we like to get across this time of year and under the circumstances is the support of community, the support of families, and the support of our customers, making sure that they're getting exactly the bottle that they're looking for in their hands this time of year to lift spirits at the holiday table, whatever that holiday may be, and whomever your sort of small gatherings might include, you'll be able to toast with a sense of security that you're going to have a great bottle of wine.
Cheers. Well, listen, Ertan, I appreciate you joining me on this sort of long-winded video, but, you know, it's the holidays and it's nice to sit down and kind of talk about, you know, wines that we love, wines that we're enjoying now, and kind of share that with our customers, because I think, again, like we've talked 17 times throughout this video, this is going to be a weird holiday season, we'd love to see you at the stores. We are obviously masked up, and we're doing our best to make sure that you guys all have a safe shopping experience. Curbside is available at all stores. It's very simple. You're going to pull up to the curbside area. It's either a parking spot close to the store, pulling up right next to the store. In Farmington's case, we got our own parking lot, and you can just call the store number. They're listed right on Google. You'll find the number there, and just call us and let you know that you're there. You can order right online and select, that you're going to come and do curbside pickup. And we would love to, help you out and bring the wine right out to you and load it right in your trunk. And please, if you do come into the store, come by, see us, say hello. We'd love to see you all, and want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and whatever other celebrations you have going on. Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Wish everyone a healthy season, and stay safe out there.
That's the most important. Cheers.
Cheers.